Welcome to another episode of HBOT Insider. So hold on to your hats, guys, because I think we're coming up with something new, something I have never heard from the hyperbaric community, and certainly something we've never heard from the orthopedic community, and that's healing bones faster. I'm going to throw up a little blurb from Chat GPT. We'll give credit to those guys for giving us some information, but also we've got our own experience here. And what we found was we had a friend who broke her foot. She cracked the fifth metatarsal, which is a common rolling over on your foot fracture. If you get the Jones type of fracture, it takes a little bit longer to heal because there's not a good blood supply there, which is always the important part for healing is a good blood supply. But what we discovered was we healed her in half the time that usually it will take, even if you're on the fast side. So typically if you fracture that bone, and I'll put up the little chat alongside this video that says that it should take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks for that bone to heal. And if it's the Jones type fracture, it'll be more like 8 to 12 weeks. And that's with conservative care, which is either casting or immobilization, non-weight bearing, which is kind of funny that non-weight bearing is a thing because we all know that bones need weight bearing and pressure to stimulate them to grow and to heal. But I'm not going to change the whole orthopedic community anytime soon. But we do know that that is the conservative care and it takes 6 to 8 weeks. So we threw a little chat up there just to make sure that it's not just my experience as a physical therapist, biased towards how long it should take bones to heal. But the chat said things like it takes 6 to 8 weeks. If you wanted to speed it up, you can use something known as a bone stimulator, which a bone stimulator is an electromagnetic field surrounding the bone. We can credit Robert Becker for that one. It's a book called The Body Electric. He discovered that by putting electric fields around bones, they would grow faster and heal, kind of like they do in animals that can regenerate limbs, like geckos and salamanders. So he discovered that quite a few years ago and was canceled because of it, because he spoke out about it. But I digressed back to us, and so I asked the chat, hey, is there anything that can help us do it faster than that? Like say get it done in 3 weeks. And it said, no, that's ridiculous. That's not really possible. But if you did, you should include things like hyperbarics, PEMF mats, which are bone stimulating frequencies, and supplements, nutrition, non-weight bearing. Again, I still don't understand that one. But also infrared lights. There you have it. The trifecta. We have hyperbarics. We have PEMF mats. We have infrared lights. So we did it to my friend. And what I've discovered over the past 3 years is that if you are doing an orthopedic healing problem and you get to 600 liters of oxygen intake, which our chamber can measure, which most chambers can't, then we see that orthopedic problems heal. So if we get to 600 liters, I said we'll stop as soon as we achieve that volume, regardless of how long you were in the chamber. Well, my friend was able to do it in about 30 minutes. So we did 5 dives. That's it. Just 5 dives over 2 weeks. And in those 5 dives, she was achieving over 600 liters in about 30 minutes. So we pulled her out to decide, is it the oxygen that we need or is it the time that we need? We brought her into a pressure around 2 atmospheres. She'd start a little bit less, then as she would breathe, it would go a little bit more. But as we did that, she came out. We did 5 dives in 2 weeks' time. So it was 3 total weeks since she broke her bone. And I'll put up the pictures right now. You tell me what you see. I see a broken bone, and I see not a broken bone. 3 weeks. So when we asked the chat, hey, is it possible to do it in 3 weeks? It went, yeah, no, that's not really possible. So we did it. We beat the standard of care. And we did it in half the time of standard hyperbaric chamber dives. And that's because we're making the observation that it's oxygen that's what's needed for orthopedic problems. Now, I'm not saying that it's the oxygen that's needed for every problem, and every problem can do it in 30 minutes, but I have found over the last 3 years that orthopedic problems, whether they're injuries, acute, or surgeries, 600 liters of oxygen is the number you need to get to, and as soon as you get to it, boop, pluck them out, because that's all they need. Now, frequency does make a difference, and so we tried to minimize that frequency. So like I said, we did 5 dives over 2 weeks, spread out a little bit, and it worked. That was all we needed. And we did it that way because we knew she was going to be immobilized for at least 3 to 4 weeks, because that was the doctor's orders. And we maintained that. We didn't push her into weight bearing ahead of time. So this is a non-weight bearing bone, 3 weeks after fracture, and PEMF mats, infrared lights for 20 to 30 minutes. The frequency on the mat was 7 hertz, which is supposed to be close to the Schumann resonance, which is the Earth's frequency. So basically, we grounded her, gave her the Earth's frequency, and gave her infrared light energy and some oxygen. And there you have it. 3 weeks. Done. We surprised even AI. AI said, maybe if you're an elite athlete, you can handle that. Nope, regular person. Not that my friend is regular. She's pretty amazing. But yeah, here we go, folks. You want to heal faster? Call me. I got all the tools you need. But get here as soon as possible, because the sooner you get here, the quicker this works. Talk to you soon.